It's a review on a request for a post-adjudication removal. And there's a show cause that's pending. And there's the issue of permanency planning also set for today. So we'll tackle whatever we need to and can get to on this one today. We are on YouTube, so if you could avoid using the name of the child, I would appreciate it, or children, I should say. Child. And the names of our participants.
Katerina Dumont, lawyer guardian ad litem.
Ms. Sasha Thomas, counsel for the department.
Megan McVeigh from the department.
Michael McFarland, representing father, sir. James Marwelli.
Michael Brooks, I represent the mother, Jennifer Webb, who is not here.
I don't have her logged in on Zoom either. Have you heard from your client by any chance, Mr. Brooks?
I have not.
We have an update, but I'll let my client testify. Sister.
As to Jennifer Webb?
Right.
Very well, go ahead.
She was last seen drunk at my client's house Friday and was given a no trespass warning with the police present. So that's the last update.
Anything else? Well, I'm sure we'll get from the department as well during their update. As it relates to the show cause, any preference on how we fold that into today's proceedings, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen?
Your Honor, I think that given that we also have a court report, I think that a lot of it overlaps, and in addition to the removal petition, so that is also an overlap. So I would ask the court just to make its findings in conjunction with the review hearing portion.
I have no problem. My client does have additional testimony regarding the review, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Brooks, any position?
None.
Ms. Dumont?
No position.
Thank you. All right, I will grant the request to incorporate that. I did go over your client's rights with him, I think last time as it relates to the show cause. And of course, the potential criminal penalties if the court were to find that there was a violation of the court's order that would arise to the level that it should be considered contempt. But I'm happy to do that today. Again, Mr. McFarland, if you wish.
No, Your Honor, he understood them from last time and remembers.
Very good. And you've had a chance to go over the allegations of the show cause with them, I hope?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Very good. All right. Well, let's begin then. Any opening statement by you, Ms. Dumont, or a report for us?
Yes, Your Honor, I do have a report. I was able to meet with the minor child at school after she was removed from her father and placed with her brother. She was at school that day, which is good because there was a few times I tried to meet with her at school and she was not there. She was dressed appropriately. Her hair was brushed and in a braid. It looked good considering some of the previous allegations that the teachers had to brush it for about 1.5 hours. She had also told me she went to the dentist. She has a tooth that's kind of impacted right in her gums, like above her regular teeth. And so I guess that was wiggling. So I'm not sure if it's fallen out yet, but she said that she went to the dentist. It wasn't attached to anything, so the dentist wasn't concerned. It should just wiggle and fall out. So I was impressed that she's already been there. Since she's been in the care with her brother, there was a lot of improvement, and that was just a few days. She said she enjoys being there. On Friday, they get pizza. She has her own room. She gets to play video games with her sister, so she was doing well. I believe it's in her best interest to get into the doctor, get into some counseling. An assessment as well was discussed with the department to see if she suffers from any symptoms of fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't believe that's been done yet. I think continued supervised parenting time with both parents is appropriate. There was great concern we had with the amount of school she was missing, the letter that was attached to the court report from school, along with the doctor in Brooklyn not being able to get in contact with dad once she had medical treatment and needed an antibiotic. So I'm hopeful that her current placement can continue to meet her needs and the department can get those resources in place. There was also some new information presented with some concern that dad is trying to get unsupervised visits with the minor child at his home between the last hearing and this hearing. And I believe that's inappropriate, and I would urge dad to abide by the court's order so as to not get another show cause.
Your first witness, or any comments? Do any of the attorneys wish to make any comments before we begin?
No.
No, testimony will come up.
Your Honor, my notes for the last hearing indicate, I believe that Mr. Marwelli was testifying. I had asked several questions, but I don't know that there was an opportunity for anyone else to finish questioning. So I don't know if the council would like to address that first or just sort of go through the review and allow testimony through the review.
One moment. Our preference is we'd like to hear an update from the worker, Your Honor, a review, and then have my client then testify, continuous testimony.
That's fine. I just want to make sure.
Thank you.
I'll call
Okay,
Ms.
please.
McVeigh. Thank you.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Good morning, Ms. McVeigh.
Morning.
Thank you for providing a court report for today's hearing. Looks like your cover sheet indicates that inclusive in the court report is the case service plans for both parents, text message exchanges with Mr. Marwelli, health records from Trinity Health, the school attendance and behavior charts from the elementary school, and then also a letter from the elementary school. Is there any other document or any other documents that have been circulated since you filed that packet?
No,
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to the documents that have been provided for today's hearing?
no,
Okay. As it relates to the risk of harm for the child, at this time, do you believe that there is still a risk of harm if the child were to be returned to either parent's care or custody today?
yes.
And can you briefly elaborate what that risk of harm is?
The case service plans have not been followed, and the court orders have not been followed. The conditions which brought us here have not been rectified.
And are there still concerns that Ms. Webb has untreated substance abuse issues?
Yes,
And are there still concerns that she has not engaged in any domestic violence counseling or treatment?
yes, and there's also concern that she continues to have contact with the individual who's court ordered to not have any contact with the minor child.
And as it relates to Mr. Marwelli, there were concerns about the child's well-being, such as educational neglect and physical neglect. Have there been any services offered? I know we were just here, but since the last hearing to help address those issues?
Not at this time. I don't believe the foster care worker has been able to get a hold of him yet.
Okay. And just for the record, who is the foster care worker?
Sarah Harvey?
And will she be managing the case moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, does Mr. Marwelli still have any warrants for his arrest?
The last I checked, it was still up on the website.
On mycourt.com?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been able to make contact with the child since the removal?
No, but I know the foster care worker has on at least twice.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, the child is still with her older brother, correct?
Correct.
And do you have any concerns about that placement at all?
Not at all.
And do you believe it's the least restrictive environment to ensure her safety?
Yes.
As relates to the review portion of this hearing, it looks like there have been some referrals made, such as the trauma assessment.
Oh, yes, that was made a long time ago. And it was scheduled, we had to wait, it was scheduled for May 1st, but that was the day right after removal. So we postponed it till I believe it's the 5th of June. So she had some time to not have to do it when she was tired and had going through all of that.
Okay.
And there was also referrals made for Parkside Family Counseling, therapeutic parenting time, and regular parenting time referrals. I did make those referrals.
And do you know if any of those intakes have been scheduled for Parkside services?
Not yet.
And how, can you walk us through who's responsible for scheduling that? The intake portion of those services?
So Parkside would contact the parents.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, you're not sure if that's happened?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
They were both offered a visit. Mr. Marawelli and Miss Weber both offered a visit the Monday after removal, and they both did not respond to set that up.
Has there been any parenting time since removal?
No,
And then as it relates to the trauma assessment, do you know if the bonding assessment was also ordered as part of that?
yes,
And it would be expected that Mr. Marwelli and Ms. Webb would participate in that bonding assessment?
I would hope so, yes.
And do you know if they're aware of, were they made aware of that appointment?
Yes, it's in the court report.
Have you spoke with Ms. Webb since the last hearing?
I've gotten a couple of text messages from her.
Can you tell us a little bit more about anything that she's
She
said or
was
indicated?
asking for visitation.
Okay. And did you reply with how she can start that parenting time?
Yes, I did.
Okay. As it relates to the parents' compliance with and benefit from their case service plan, I know that this is sort of an overlap and maybe feels a little backwards because you've also filed a show cause against both of them. But during the last review period, how would you describe their compliance with and benefit from that case service plan?
I would say it didn't exist at all. There was difficulty even making contact with either one of them.
The report indicates that there were attempts made maybe on a bi-weekly basis to get a hold of Ms. Webb, and even more frequently text messages. Did you have any meaningful responses from her during the last review period?
It was very sporadic from her. It would just depend on getting a hold of her, but then once you get a hold of her, then she would like drop off again and you wouldn't be able to get a hold of her again.
And then as it relates to Mr. Marwelli, your report indicates there were several, it looks like the monthly bi-weekly attempts to go to the home and or call him. But I know that you've testified to this recently as well, but is there anything else that you would like to highlight from your court report about the efforts that you made?
Just that there was numerous efforts made and there was no response. I think a lot of it was covered in the last hearing.
One of the things that was presented during the last hearing as well was the, I guess, the educational component and
Yes.
missing a lot of school. And you've attached the attendance records for the child, and it indicates that there were several unexcused absences throughout this review period. Were you able to identify if any of those were wrongly marked unexcused?
They were not. In order to mark them as excused, a parent would have to provide excuse to the school or a phone call to the school.
And then for her medical concerns, there's an attachment from the IJ, and it indicates that there was no follow-up or follow-through from Mr. Marwelli.
It indicates that she had an appointment, which he did take her to, and that they were calling him because they were calling in a prescription for an antibiotic, but they couldn't reach him, so I don't know if she ever received the treatment.
Okay. When you spoke with the school, can you highlight from their records and your conversations their main concerns about the child?
Mostly the being tired, her inability to stay awake at school, and the large amount of time that she missed when she was there. She was sleeping or couldn't stay awake. There was concerns with her. She has a behavior chart, and her behavior charts went from doing okay to not so hot. And I attached those along with the court report to show it was like a steady decline in her behavior.
In those behavior reports, it looks like good days are green and maybe bad days are red.
Good days are 2s.
So the chart that we have looks like there's a green dot, like a dot around 100, and then there's red dots that kind of fall below a threshold.
Yes,
Okay, and so the red dots, are those the bad days?
the concerning, yes. But she has her own system that she brings home to her parents that is numbers. So
Okay,
that's where my 2 came from.
at this time, since the removal, to the best of your knowledge, will Miss Harvey be reworking a case service plan with the parents?
I believe so. There is an attached proposed case service plan, excuse me, for both parents.
Has any of the psychological evaluations been referred for yet?
No. Not as far as I know.
Are you aware if either parent has engaged in or has asked for any referrals for mental health treatment?
No,
And do you have any proof of employment from either parents?
no.
And how many parenting times have been offered to the parents to visit with the child?
I don't know if Parkside has contacted them yet. They were, because we have 5 days to have the first visit, they were offered the first visit and neither one of them responded, so.
And do you know if Ms. Harvey will continue to ask if they want visits pending Parkside's call to them?
Yes. Mr. Marawelli did say he did not want to visit at the office or a counseling office, though.
To the best of your knowledge, what has happened with Mr. Marwelli and his, I guess, attitude towards the parenting time with the child?
That he's not doing it unless it's at his home.
Do you have any concerns about him contacting placement?
Yes,
Have you discussed those concerns with placement and ways to?
I know Ms. Harvey did. She did address that.
Do you know if there are those same concerns with Ms. Webb?
No, there are not the same concerns.
Sorry, screen doesn't want to show me what I want to see. Are there any other elements of the case service plan that you believe would be necessary for the parents to immediately start on to work towards reunification?
Nothing additional, no.
Is there anything else you would like the court to be aware of as it relates to the review portion of the show cause?
I didn't hear the second part of your question, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Is there anything else you'd like the court to be aware of as it relates to the review or the show cause?
Not at this time.
Thank you. With that, Your Honor, no further questions of Ms. McVeigh.
I have a proposed number of exhibits.
And I would ask the court to accept those into the record at this time.
Objections?
None.
No objection.
No objection.
Thank you. They are received. Questions for this witness, Mr. McFarland?
I do. Prior to court today, my client shared with you a video, correct?
Yes,
And is it true that the drive down to his place has now had a layer of gravel put on it so people with vehicles can traverse down it? Would that be accurate what you saw?
yes,
He also showed you that he installed a indoor water system inside where the minor child was living. Did you do that?
I did not see the inside water. I did see a toilet. I haven't seen it functioning though.
Okay. And what else did he show you?
He's building a bathroom towards the back of the house that would have like a shower, and there's new siding put up, and he got rid of a lot of stuff that was around the property. So it's
Sounds like-
cleaned up.
Quite a lot of action since we were in court last time. Would that be accurate?
To the house, yes,
And this dental appointment that was kept for the minor child, this was a pre-scheduled appointment by my client, correct?
yes,
Did you ask, my client just showed me a copy of the ticket being paid from the court. Did you ask him today, did he have any proof to show you that he didn't have anything outstanding in the law?
No, I didn't ask him today.
I didn't hear the guardian litem say what the minor child's preference was, whether she wanted to go back to father or remain. Do you have an opportunity to talk to the minor child regarding her preference?
I have not. Miss Harvey has spoke with her.
Harvey's here? No. Is she on YouTube, on Zoom, Ms. Harvey? You know?
It does not appear she's joined us today.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I heard you say you had some concern with my client contacting placement. Can you go into some detail about that?
I just received information that he had contacted the placement requesting unsupervised visits at his home.
You have no personal knowledge, correct?
No, I
My
didn't.
client, I guess, did placement contact you with that information?
No.
This was a hearsay from some other party, correct?
Well, it's from the foster care worker, Sarah Harvey.
Why she's not here today?
She had a training obligation.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Mr. Brooks?
No questions.
Okay, Ms. Dumont?
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. May I return to your seat? Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McBrown?
My client would like to testify. You want to do that now?
Yes. Come on up, Mr. Norwelly.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Is there something more about the improvements to your property that was not mentioned by the worker today?
Okay. Improvements, I mean,
Can you speak up a little bit for Mr. Brooks?
yeah, I've cleaned up everything. I had to move out of 2 buildings. That's why when they did come, it was a bit of a clutter. I have cleaned everything up. I've been working night and day, trying to provide a bathroom for my daughter. I mean, we went from a 2-bed single place to, she's got her own room and a bathroom now, and they let her stay with a outhouse and a shower house, and didn't have any problems with it. I'm trying to do everything they've asked me, and I feel I have. I've made her all of her appointments for her, prior. I had a warrant, yes, for a ticket, for a fix-it ticket, and that's all paid.
Okay, let's stop with that ticket.
Yep.
You showed me, you have something on your phone showing that that is paid in full, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, and you can show that to the worker, is that correct?
I can.
So after this hearing, you can show that to the worker, and there's been some testimony that they've offered you a visit in the interim, and you didn't want to have a visit at an office. Is that true?
They contacted me on, well, they say May 1st. I didn't get the thing, until 2 days later. Like I said, I have now have Frontier.
Yeah, but the question is, they wanted you to visit in an office. Did you accept or decline that?
No, I said, why am I the victim? I should be able to see my daughter at Mikey's house or at my house. I did nothing wrong. So I.
Would you see your daughter at the office if offered? That's what I'm asking.
We did this once before, and I don't want to do it again. There's no reason why my daughter can't come and see her dog and play, and there's no reason why I can't go to Mikey's.
Would you be okay if it was supervised at your house?
Yeah, that'd be fine to supervise at my house or Mikey's house. I feel like I should have more time with my daughter.
The court report that I refresh your memory here through my laptop showed that your daughter had unexcused absences. Was she indeed sick at home?
Yeah, she was. She has documents from the day when we went to the ER in Tecumseh. And she did have a couple days after that where she was recovering.
Do you realize that you have to contact the school to let them know in order for it to be an excused absence?
I did tell them, but it wasn't that day.
Do you have any reason to, do you know why it then is marked as unexcused
No, I
when
do
you
not.
told them?
No,
Did you tell the school every time that your daughter was not at school?
yes, I did. And, yeah, yes, I did.
Okay.
I also told my daughter that this was gonna happen if we didn't brush her hair and we didn't get up in the mornings, and her fatigue at school and everything. She's wondering when
What was going on with her fatigue at school?
she would stay up and then she'd go to sleep. She was worried about getting taken from my home because I told her that this could happen. And I probably put that on her, but I teach my daughter life, man. And I don't sugarcoat nothing. And I just told her, we gotta do this, so this don't happen. And she was just worried. It would be a whole different situation if these people were not in the picture at all. It's just, it plays a lot on us, I guess. She's just worried about me. Worried about her, I guess.
Heard Ms. Webb testify that you allowed child to go with her. When you weren't supposed to. You heard that testimony, correct?
Yeah.
Is there some recent incident since our last court proceeding with Ms. Webb and yourself?
Yes.
What was that?
Friday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, she comes to my house drunk. She's been harassing me since I've had my daughter.
And what happened with the incident though?
She was drunk. She came.
Police called?
Yeah, the police were called. She
By
stole 2 chainsaws from me. There was a report made on that. My cameras picked that up.
Did you call the police?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I did. I have video of it on my phone also. They were asked to leave and they were told, actually, Mr. Jenkins was with her. The person that's not supposed to be at her house or around my daughter was also there with her. They were asked to leave, and next time they come to my house, no matter if they go and leave before the cops get there, they will be arrested for trespassing. They've been told twice now that they are not allowed there.
She was with an individual the court had ordered not, or the child not to be around.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Is there any commentary by the police about this? About anything that was going on? Police believe anything she was saying?
Oh, police, they told me, this is the chief of police from Columbia Township, said, I don't trust Jennifer Webb as far as I can throw her, or throw this car that I'm sitting in. And Mr. Webb, as far as saying that Jennifer brought her down there, he has brain injuries, he's in a wheelchair, he takes to boxing a lot. I'm not talking bad about the guy.
You're talking
Sometimes
about
he
her
doesn't
father?
remember. No, the brother
Brother.
that testified that he's seen her with Ms. Webb.
Yeah.
He doesn't, I mean, I'm not talking bad. I like Albert, but sometimes he just is out there with the medication that he takes. So
Thank you for that. There's also some accusations today that you attempted to have a visit with your daughter outside the scope of this court since we were last here. Is there any truth to that?
I just asked the social worker if I could go to Mikey's house or.
No, it's not the social worker. The allegation was that you directly called your brother asking to have visits, not going through the social
I
worker.
texted Mikey, asked him if I could come over and see my daughter, and he said he was playing everything by the books. And I just didn't understand why that I'm the victim when I did nothing wrong. I should be able to have more time with my daughter. She should be able to come over with her dog, or I should be able to see her at Mikey's house. I did nothing wrong.
When we left court here last time, what was your understanding of how your parenting time was to go?
I didn't know how my parenting time was gonna be held. I asked them guys when I left. That
Who's them guys?
Megan, if I could see my daughter, and she says that Sarah will be in contact with me.
Was anybody in contact with you?
Like I said, she did text me, on Messenger.
What did she say your contact was to be then with your daughter?
She said, I would like to set up on Monday, I would like to set up a visit with your daughter.
You mean for
She didn't say
today?
where.
You mean for today?
No, this was last
Yeah.
Monday.
And did you have that visit?
No, because I didn't get it until Wednesday.
Did you then contact her back?
I did. I've been having messages with her.
Thought when we were in court last time, I thought you had your Wi-Fi fixed for you so you could get messages.
That
or-
was for a little black box that Yeah, it wasn't hardwired and it,
So how do we reach you so you can get visits now?
I now have Frontier, hardwired to my house. So there will be no,
And do you have an answering machine of some type? So you
I
can,
have now set up voicemail on my phone.
okay, so they can call, you have a hard line, so you can be reached.
Yeah, they can have my phone number. They can come out anytime. They all know it.
Anything else that you wish to add to the show cause or to the progress since we were in court last time?
The show cause, the progress. I just feel like I should be able to see my daughter more time and I shouldn't have to go somewhere to see her but my house or Mikey's house and supervise. They can be at both places, but
And you're staying with your testimony that there's no way that you let the mother see this child unsupervised. Is that what we're hearing?
no,
Okay. Other attorneys may have questions for you. Have we covered everything that you wanted to say? Thank you.
Okay, questions, Ms. Thomas?
Mr. Arwelli, you indicated you hadn't gotten the messages regarding parenting time on May 1st.
yes, I didn't get them until the 3rd.
You in fact were messaging Ms. McVeigh earlier that day, correct?
Yes, it was. I believe it was 2nd. I think it was the 2nd.
There are screenshots attached to the court report which indicate that on May 1st at 7:55 a.m. you had responded to a message she sent you on April 30th at 6:12 p.m.
Okay.
Are you denying that you had access to those messages?
I had access to the messages.
And if that's the mode of communication that you were utilizing, what would have been a reasonable expectation of Ms. McVeigh to establish parenting time for you?
I'm not understanding.
How else was she going to get a hold of you if you were already responding via this messenger?
The caseworker, I'm the messenger.
And is that what she did, correct?
Mr. Ray,
Yeah, okay, and so whose responsibility is it to ensure that you are communicated about to see your child?
I am the caseworker.
So why didn't you ensure that you had access to the caseworker for at least 2 days?
Because I didn't think it was until 2 days later.
And are you engaged in any individual therapy at this point in time?
Why? No, I'm not. The lady called me, contacted me, and she told me to give her a call after court today because I told her I had court. I had it scheduled for 11 o'clock today, but I also had court today at 11 o'clock. So she asked me to call her back. I believe it was the therapy thing or whatnot, to contact her. I have it written down at home on the bulletin board, but I'm supposed to contact her after I get out of court today.
And you reported in a previous history, I believe, that you have 3 jobs?
I have 2 jobs. I have, well, 3, yeah. My daughter, Brisky Brothers Construction, and I take care of the Hills Campground.
I'm sorry, what was the first job you listed?
My daughter, that's my number 1 job, take care of her.
And so the letter provided by Edison Schools, which indicated that she in fact was not being taken care of, how would you respond to that?
That's false. I mean, she has been taken care of. Her hair is a disaster. I need to get it thinned out, and I had a scheduled hair appointment for her. It takes me an hour to brush or do her hair. She has thick, long hair. I have now her sitter will do her hair, braid it, put it in a braid because I have found, and I have bought her silk pillows because I found that is better for her hair. Her hair gets tangled up in a knot and it takes forever to brush it. It's always in a ponytail though at school. It's not ever that. My kid is a tomboy. And before she goes to school, she's out with her dog. She might have a little mud or something on her face or her dog's paws or something, but my kid is not messy. My kid is taken care of. She has 3 cats and then the dog, and she sees them every day before she goes to school. to say that I don't take care of my daughter or nothing is not right.
Okay. And okay. And have you discussed any of these, had the school reached out to you to discuss any of these concerns with you?
No,
And were you aware of her behavioral decline based on the charts that were provided by the school?
her behavioral decline is not a factor. I have all her things from 0 to 2, like Megan was describing. I have them all at home from the time I got her to the time she was taken away from me. And there's not very many 0s or 1s on film papers. There's 2s. And awesome day, great day. And I asked her, I said, how come we didn't get this, baby girl? How come we got 1s today? Well, sometimes Dad, I don't feel like getting all 2s. Well, you have to show you could do it.
Okay, and what is that, and how do you think that her exhaustion levels played into her ability to self-regulate at school?
Probably a lot.
Why was she exhausted?
Like I said, she's worried about what's gonna happen. We have these people at our house calling, and she's worried about me, she's worried about her because of what position we're put in by certain people. I just told her that we gotta do this or else this will happen. And she thinks that they'll come and get her that night. I mean, the first time when they were just gonna give me papers and they were gonna let her stay at my house, they come at a time when they know that I go pick her up from school. So then they leave, then they bring an officer. And I wasn't there then, and then they bring 2 officers at 11 o'clock at night when my daughter was in bed sleeping, getting ready for school. They come and get her at 11 o'clock at night. That's wrong because she was sleeping, getting ready for school. So why would they come at 11 o'clock at night to get my daughter when they know that she's got school the next day?
Mr. Marwelli, the attendance records indicate that she did not have consistent attendance at school. There were several unexcused absences. How is anyone to know, how is she to know she's even going to attend school the next morning?
She knows that she has to go to school.
She does, but the attendance records indicate otherwise.
Yep, but she goes to school, she's been tardy, maybe late, because she doesn't wake up, because I got to spray water in her face like her mom did, is what she told me. Her mom sprayed water in her face to get her awake.
Do you think it's appropriate for an 8, almost 9-year-old to be emotionally responsible for being worried about you?
No, not at all, because of what predicaments that other people put on their plate that she knows. I teach her about life, not about like.
Have you had any professionals assist in helping you learn how to parent or what is appropriate or age appropriate for an 8 to 9-year-old?
Yep, I'm 49 years old. I've had 4 kids and I've raised them. Okay.
But this is the second time that your child's been removed from you during her lifetime.
Not for me. No, the first time. This is the first time a child's been removed from me. She's been removed from her mom twice. She was not removed from me twice.
And are you responsible for either of them?
Pardon?
Are you responsible for either of those removals?
No, I'm not.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Questions, Ms. Dumont?
Mr. Marwelli, are you willing to participate in a case service plan?
Why should I have to do that? I guess I'm asking. I am not the one that did any of this.
So is that a no? Is it a
No,
yes or a
that's
no?
not yes, I will. For my daughter,
Okay.
yes, I will.
Do you know, are you aware of how many days of unexcused absences your daughter had and how many tardies she had?
Yes, I am.
How many?
I don't know. I don't have the paper. I can't tell you a number and lie about it, so I don't know.
So does
but she's-
45 days of unexcused absences and 41 tardies. Does that sound right to you? If that was
that's
on
not
the
all-
document?
That's not all in my care. I just want to
Okay.
know the ones that are in my care.
Okay.
That's her brother's care.
Do you recognize that that's a problem?
Yeah, oh yeah, this is a problem.
Okay. Did you pick up the antibiotic that was prescribed to her?
Yes.
When did you do that?
She got that. And she got that. Actually, they didn't have the pill form, and that's what my daughter preferred was a pill form. They called me and said they had the liquid. Well, they said that I would have to wait a couple days before they got the liquid in, or the pills in. So then I had to wait a couple days prior to get the pills.
And what
So
pharmacy
what-
did you pick that up from?
That was in Brooklyn.
Okay. And lastly, are you discussing the details of this case with your daughter?
Am I discussing the details of this case?
Correct.
No, I just say if we don't like do our hair and we don't go to school, then this is what could happen. She knows
So-
that.
So you're constantly reminding her that when she was
Not
in your
constant.
care, she could be removed.
Not constantly, no.
Okay. And do you believe that's an appropriate topic to have a discussion with?
That's life, right?
I have no further
That's
questions.
could
Thank you.
happen, correct?
Mr. Brooks, do you have any questions?
I do not.
I have a few questions for you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm getting the impression that Willow was responsible for getting up for school, for going to sleep, and for taking care of herself. Would that be accurate?
No,
So talk to me about the structure in your home that you tried to provide for her to do that.
we take a shower, she's supposed to brush her hair. I mean, that's what she's supposed to do.
Who's
Um,
we? You said we
She
take
takes,
it,
she takes the shower
okay, and how often is she required to do that?
every other day,
Okay, and how often do you shower?
every day.
All right, so
I work.
obviously I can see you, you're sitting right here next to me. And I've noticed that your hands have a distinctive amount of dirt on them.
I
Can
was
you help-
working this morning.
Okay,
I was rushing to get here.
well, I'm just wondering what it looks like for you and how that structure is implemented for your daughter. Because whether you want to see it or not, the school has seen issues, the department has seen issues where she's not being taken care of, not under a schedule where she's getting enough sleep in order to be able to accomplish her goals at school.
She's told the people what time she goes to bed. She's told the people at school, the counselor, and everything. It's 9:30.
So her bedtime is 9:30.
Yeah.
And how do you ensure that she's in bed by 9:30?
I give her a kiss goodnight and tell her I love her, and I'll see her in the morning. And at 9:30,
Okay, does she have her own room?
yes, she does.
So talk to me about how do you put her to bed, or how do you make sure
I
she's in
say,
bed?
okay, it's time to go to bed. First of all, about 7 o'clock, 7:30, we go every other day, and she goes up and takes a shower. We come back, I ask her to brush her hair, I put some leave-in conditioner in, and she goes and she does brush her hair. My fault for not putting it in a ponytail, so it stays, good. And then the next morning, we're brushing on the way to school. She has clean clothes, she has nice clothes.
Mr. Morelli, what you're saying is directly contradictory to a number of people's observations. And I think that's what I'm really struggling with is if you can't see what her schools and her teachers and her other support people are seeing, how can we ask you to change it if you don't think there's anything wrong with what's been happening?
Okay, so she doesn't go see her dog and her cats before school in the morning, then that's fine, then, because her puppy jumps up on her. He goes outside. The hair brushing thing, I got that taken care of as far as putting her hair in a ponytail every night. If I have to brush it myself, I guess that's what I gotta do. I'm trying to teach her responsibility, to do her own thing.
Okay, all right. Any other questions based on my questions?
Just one, sir. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think Ms. Dumont was just saying no.
Okay, sorry. Sir, would you drive her first? How does she get to school?
I take her to the bus stop or I drive her to school.
How would you assure from now on that there are no more tardies? The court might want to know that.
I have a newer vehicle. I was having some issues with transmission problems and other stuff in my old vehicle, but I showed Mr. McVeigh the picture of the new vehicle. It's a Subaru Outback. It's a very reliable vehicle.
So you get her to the bus stop or school on time? Is that what we're hearing?
Yes, sir.
And she has no, apparently your phone signal is so bad, she wouldn't be able to use her. Would she be able to even use her phone in a bedroom when she goes to bed or
We
not?
got Wi-Fi. We have Wi-Fi calling now.
Okay, you disable that so she can't use her phone so she gets sleep?
Yeah. And some of that is, I have one in her room and caught her with her phone. So I mean, I do check up on her. But I just have to take her phone away completely.
Exactly, that's gonna be my next question that you anticipated, okay. Nothing further.
Mr. Brooks?
No, I have no rebuttal questions.
Ms. Thomas?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. May I return to your seat. Ms. Thomas, anyone else?
Your Honor, I'm aware of the time and I don't mean to upset anyone, but I would like to call Mr. Howard if possible. briefly.
Okay. Schedule looks like, we can take a break from 12:30 to 1:30 for lunch, if we want to do that, and just use the next 15 minutes, counselors. Any objections to that?
That's fine.
Well, just so the court knows, I have appointments this afternoon, excuse me, in my office.
Well, that's why I'm looking to finish this hearing up this morning instead of having to come back.
I appreciate it.
That works.
Okay, Deputy Ames, if you could swear Mr. Michael Howard, he joins us by Zoom.
Mr. Howard, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Howard, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you may hear some background noise. I'm at work right now, and we do have a full kitchen crew in here doing food production for upcoming event MIS. So apologies for any distractions.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You have good audio on our end, so thank you. You currently have the child in your care, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are her brother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you had any issues with her going to bed or waking up for school?
No, she's been awesome. She really, she respects me. She really listens to my word, my authority. I am very big on structure. That's how I live my life. So naturally, that's the way I'm showing her how to do things. We have the same bedtime routine, the same morning routine. She wakes up the same time every morning, goes to bed at the same time every night.
And are you having any issues with her hygiene, such as brushing her hair, making sure that her teeth are taken care of, or that she's going to school appropriately?
No, ma'am. She's been great. Part of her nighttime routine is to brush her hair and brush her teeth, and then in the morning we do the same exact thing because it gets knotted while she sleeps. So we shower at least once a day. And I told her that's the rule around my house, and we typically wait for the mornings. And if she gets sweaty at school, then I'll have her take a shower when she gets home.
And as it relates to parenting type, I'm guessing it's kind of awkward for you to have to navigate parenting time when I believe it's your mom, correct? And Mr. Marwelli?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a preference on the department handling that for you?
What do you mean, I guess?
Do you prefer that the department handle the parenting time component rather than you being put in the middle?
I don't mind. Me and Jamie have never had issues. So I mean, I don't have any problem being there, and however we want to facilitate that, whatever you guys think is best, I'm okay with.
Okay. And in the past, has he contacted you asking to see her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what have you advised him to do?
I told him that the reason we are all in this situation is that they refused to play by the rules, to go by the book. There was a certain structure and a certain way that you guys wanted him to go about things, and it wasn't done that way. So from this point forward, we're going to do everything by the book, exactly as advised by the court.
Okay. And at this time, are you okay with the contact between you and the parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
Any other questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Anyone else, Ms. Thomas?
Not at this time.
Mr. Brooks?
No.
Mr. McFarland?
No way further.
Ms. Dumont?
No, Your Honor.
Comments in closing, beginning with Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, Judge, we are still obviously asking for out-of-home placement. It seems that there's been a benefit from that removal at this time for the child, that she is receiving structure and being taken care of in the way that she needs and deserves. Obviously, the court report has those indications of what, especially from the school, the letter from the school is very telling. The behavior charts are telling, the attendance records are telling. I believe that we need a period of stabilization here. And I believe that the parents have not been in compliance with their case service plan, that Ms. McVeigh has done her job, has provided those reasonable efforts. She has complied with her portion of the case service plan to at least go out monthly or attempt to go out monthly. But it's very difficult when there's no response from anyone. And so, Your Honor, we are asking that for the continued removal out of home placement. We are asking that the court adopt the new proposed case service plan. They're asking that parenting time continue to be professionally supervised. It is very promising and nice that the relative placement, it is fine, sort of being that in between. However, given the concerns here, we are asking that it be professionally supervised for the time being. And then as that shows the benefit and consistency that it could be more lax and more reasonable in the family unit. However, at this time, it seems that there's so much denial and so much this victim mentality without taking personal responsibility for his child's condition and the situation in which this family finds itself is very concerning. And so I think that there needs to be a lot of services put in place and completed before we would get to that point. However, I trust with Ms. Harvey coming on board that we will see what else is needed before we can get there. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Well, I know a lot of the conditions of the home, the court was already aware of, and that the toilet was outside, not in the actual residence, that the water was actually not in the residence, but my client appears to have rectified that, and the drive, he's also made accessible. He is in a hollow where reception is bad on cell phones. He's now seemed to have resolved that issue with a Wi-Fi. Where's his daughter getting to school? Sounds as though he realizes that she needs to have her phone taken from her at night to some of the regiment that his brother shows, that he now has a dependable vehicle. We say he's able to get her to the school on time or to the school bus on time. So he has a way to address those issues, Your Honor. Unexcused absences, as the worker testified, just means that father sounds like he didn't promptly let the school know even if his daughter was sick. Doesn't mean that she wasn't sick, that it wasn't a legitimate reason for her not being at school. I think that the truancy officer would definitely have been involved if the school believed that there was an issue. I haven't heard a truancy officer testify here, or I haven't seen it in the report either. I can see where my client is hesitant, reluctant, if the child is taken from him, that he wants her to have a visit at his home where she has cats, where she has a dog, where she's comfortable. Like to see it, at least an attempt to have that accommodation with a worker if the court removes the child, but once again, we're asking not to. As far as the contempt of court, I think the biggest issue there was the allegation that my client let the child go with Ms. Webb. I guess a lot depends on her credibility. Nobody's here to testify or to say my client's not telling the truth, that she was drunk 3 o'clock in the morning at my client's home with a gentleman who the court said that she shouldn't be with. I think, and the police said he wouldn't believe anything that she said. I think that lends some, at least grave doubts on the testimony that she gave here to the court today. In addition, that she's not present in court today to be questioned on these issues, on her veracity, also lends some great doubt as to that allegation, Your Honor. So we are asking that my client given another chance. School's almost over. She's not flunking. I don't see where she's not going to pass. That we're not holding my client in contempt of court until be returned to his care and custody. If not, they have at least a standard 3 visits per week at 2 hours per visit. Like to have him at his home If not, the home where she is right now, since we've heard the placement testify, he has a good relationship with my client. Thank you.
Ms. Brooks?
Well, as the court can see, I have no client, and I am telling the court I have no comment.
Thank you. Ms. Dumont?
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to what Mr. McFarland referenced earlier with the child's wishes, she indicated to me she's happy with her brother at this time. She's been doing well with her since the removal. But obviously she does love her mom and dad, and she does have strong bonds with both of them. It's just at this point, I don't believe they're able to care for her, you know. I would also ask the court to order Mr. Marawelli not to discuss this case with his daughter. I think it's inappropriate, and it's to the point of scaring her, where he's testified that she can't sleep because she's afraid somebody's going to come and take her. I would also echo with the department, out-of-home placement is in her best interests. Ask that continued parenting time is supervised professionally, and parents be ordered into case service plans.
Ms. Dumont, have you spoken to the child about her preference?
Your Honor, I've spoken to her with how the removal went, how she's been doing since. She indicated she's doing good. She likes being at her brother's. She likes that she is able to be in a more stable environment with regards to also being able to have running water in the house. But she does miss her pets.
All right, well, the court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's review, permanency planning hearing, as well as the show cause. As I look at the proofs around the show cause, obviously, a show cause hearing is conducted under the rules of evidence, which are different than the court rules that govern the review hearing itself proper. As to the allegations in the show cause, regarding the testimony of Jennifer Webb, who was able to join us back on, I think it was April 30th, she did provide credible testimony that she has been in contact with and has had ample unsupervised parenting time with her daughter, which is a violation of the court's order. I do find that that was directly at the consent of Mr. James Marwelli, and that does constitute a violation of the court's order. I'm also very concerned by the presentation of Mr. Marwelli from today and the responses around trying to keep her healthy and in a hygienic way that would allow her to accomplish her goals at school, for example. I don't find that that's necessarily a direct violation of the court's order. In many of these other aspects, he did testify that he had some appointments that were done. He hadn't been communicating those appointments to the department. But there were some appointments that had been made. The communication between Mr. Marwelli and the caseworker obviously is not something he's taking seriously in order to even provide those appointments that he has made for the child, which is a violation of the court's order. So there are a couple of things I think that have been proven at the standard that would be necessary to find that Mr. Marwelli did intentionally violate the court's orders in this particular case. As it relates to the consequences of that, this is not a case, I think, where financial repercussions are appropriate, nor incarceration. But I am going to make the finding and the observation that it's absolutely imperative for Mr. Marwelli to take seriously the goals of the case services plan. And that finding that he has not done so may end up hurting him in the long run when it comes time, if it becomes time for the court to look at whether or not it's appropriate to ask Mr. Howard to accommodate his sister on a long-term basis rather than a short-term basis. Right now, the removal from Mr. Marwelli's care is necessary. It's appropriate. It's meeting the child's needs. Mr. Howard's not having any trouble with getting the child to school and keeping her clean and keeping her awake during class, these are not insurmountable goals. I do have concerns that the parenting philosophy and techniques by Mr. Marwelli need serious overhaul, to put it frankly. I think that the way that he looks at structure in his own life is something that is affecting his ability to see what's best for his daughter at this time. And I don't think I need to go into the details of what was talked about during the hearing today. I think he gets the message. Whether or not he's going to be able to benefit from case services planning and certain referrals remains to be seen. I'm looking forward to a better update in some of these areas during the next report period. This was a very short report period that required the intervention of the department and the courts right away, given what was happening with this child and the reports from school. It was a very, I don't get a lot of letters from schools, but the letter that was received in support of the court's actions in this case, specifically around the removal, was well written by the elementary school principal in this case. The second paragraph indicates, since W began spending time with her father, we have noticed a marked decline in her overall behavior and appearance. These concerns are not isolated incidents, but rather patterns that have emerged and intensified over the past few weeks. She then goes on to speak to the behavior in the classroom significantly declined, exhibited increased fatigue, distraction, emotional withdrawal. She's unable to complete state assessments due to repeatedly falling asleep during testing. Falling asleep while at school is typical of Willow. Her exhaustion seems to be affecting both her ability to participate in class and her performance on critical assessments. She goes on, another pressing issue is the noticeable decline in her hygiene. Willow has arrived at school on multiple occasions with matted and unwashed hair and generally appeared unclean. This week it required 2 adults over 1.5 hours to brush out her hair. It is believed that Willow's hair had not been brushed since Addison staff previously treated her hair 2 weeks prior. So the school is concerned, her teachers are concerned, and where she's at now with Mr. Howard seems to be markedly improving her opportunity to accomplish her daily tasks. He's testified to the structure that he has in place in his home and how those are benefiting the child, and she's seems to be doing well there and is happy there. Obviously, we want her to be able to continue to have a bond with her father and her pets at the house. How that's to be arranged is something else. Mr. Howard seems to think that he doesn't have an issue working with Mr. Marwelli. Obviously, the agency and the LGAL's concerns are very legitimate as well. But I think allowing Willow some time with her father on the weekends, subject to the discretion of Mr. Howard, is certainly appropriate. We would ask him to use his discretion to determine whether or not that should be supervised. In a sense that I have heard many times Mr. Marwelli talk about the hikes that he likes to take with his daughter and visits with the animals. So if Mr. Howard is comfortable with that, allowing Willow to spend some time with her father in a way that's not going to interfere with the scheduling and the routines on the weekends for limited periods of time, I think would be very appropriate and would allow the child to benefit from some time with her father in a positive way. And then, of course, Mr. Howard is there at the end of the day in order to make sure that her basic physical needs are taken care of. With regard to that, if you decide to allow that, Mr. Howard, I'm going to need you to let the foster care caseworker know no less than 48 hours in advance. I'm also authorizing you to allow a phone contact between the child and her father once a day in a way that does not interfere with her routines and structure. And I would ask you to monitor that because if Mr. Marwelli is unfortunately taking the opportunity to speak to the child about some of his concerns or the department's concerns, we need to safeguard against that. If those phone calls are stressing her, then those have to be reduced. And I need you reporting to the caseworker regularly about when those calls are happening and whether or not there's anything concerning happening. I'll ask Mr. Marwelli to utilize professional supervised visitation for any other visits with his daughter so that those can be monitored as well. Oh, and I want to say this, those visits between Mr. Marwelli and his child and those phone calls, subject to Mr. Howard's discretion, are not to begin until at least 2 to 3 weeks have passed. So let's say, okay, as of June 1st would be the first that we'd allow Mr. Howard to utilize. And that's not to say that the department can't work with Mr. Marwelli with some outside supervised visitation in the meantime. But I need regarding his daughter, and most importantly, around looking at what those conversations are like between father and the child, so as to not allow some of those stressors that may be interfering with her sleep patterns to continue. And Ms. Dumont raises some very significant points about that aspect of things. So as of June 1st, you'll be able to exercise that. Mr. Howard will ask you to work with the department in the meantime before then.
What's the duration and frequency look like, Your Honor?
It would be a 3-hour period on the weekends that he'd be able to do that if Mr. Howard is willing to accommodate that. And daily contacts, but again, none of that starts until June 1st.
Does he have any supervised through the agency prior to June 1st?
Yes, he'll have to, and if he has not exercised supervised visitation through the department in the next 2 weeks in order to demonstrate that he's safe around his child, then I would expect the department to file a motion to kick that unsupervised opportunity out further, frankly. I need him to come to the table to have his visitation in a safe way and to demonstrate that he's willing to do that before he's able to exercise that unsupervised visitation. You may want to run your question through your attorney first. In the meantime, the child will remain in the placement with her brother. That is the safest and least restrictive under the circumstances. Mr. Webb, Ms. Webb obviously is not joining us today. We've heard about her struggles and also about the lack of any progress on case services for her in the last report period. So none of those concerns or risks have been alleviated. The record is replete with the concerns as it relates to the risks associated with allowing Mr. Marwelli to have his child full-time at this time. We'll continue to allow that to be monitored in the next report period. We'll have our next review and permanency planning hearing on July 22nd at 2:30. Again, that's July 22nd at 2:30 p.m. Still looking for organized ICWA inquiries, I think. So we'll need those to be organized and provided at or before the next court report. And unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Will that be emailed to my client, Your Honor?
I do have it if you'd like to wait for a few minutes.
Well, wait.
Your Honor, I just had a question for Ms. Webb. The show causes, there was also one for her. We're not necessarily asking for restoration or financial penalties, but just something in the record. Will that also be noted in the record? Your findings for her.
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I'll go ahead and do just a quick written opinion on that piece.
Thank you, Your Honor.